Hello and welcome back to Silverstone. In this corner guide we're going to be looking at how to take turns 3 and 4, Village and the Loop. This is a pair of extremely interconnected corners, more like a long and wide chicane. To get turn 4 right you have to get turn 3 right. The key with this one is to be patient through turn 3, making sure you're getting a good exit leading you into a better entry into turn 4. In this video we'll look at how to master this corner combination, as well as some common mistakes we see a lot of drivers making here. And lastly, wrapping it up with the key points to make the most of this corner combination. So let's take a look at what this corner looks like from onboard the car. So here we are coming out of turn 2, making sure to stay as far left as possible to keep a shallow angle through turn 3. And we're turning into turn 3, avoiding the sausage curb on the inside, getting a little bit of throttle in the middle to keep the speed up, and then turning into 4 once again, avoiding the sausage curb on the inside. And then as we leave the corner we're getting back on the power to carry the speed down the Wellington straight. So now let's take a look at that one again in slow motion to get a better understanding of what we're doing here. So coming into turn 3, as we said, we want to be as far left as possible out of turn 2. This is going to enable us to take the shallowest angle and thus the most speed through the corner. Now as we come around turn 3, we see that we're being very patient, avoiding the sausage curb on the inside. This corner is all about setting ourselves up properly for turn 4. And now if we stop it here for a moment and take a closer look, we can see that we're using some throttle to help boost us around the corner, as there's a lot of space between them. However, more importantly, we want to make sure that we're focusing on the load change between the corners. Smooth weight transfer is very important here, and if it's done too quickly the car will just get unsettled coming into turn 4. So as we resume we can see that we're gradually shifting the weight over, coming across the track and avoiding that huge inside curb, and then running out all the way to the right on the exit to keep the maximum speed possible into entry corner. So now that we know how to take the corner, let's look at some of the common mistakes drivers make so you can avoid them. The first mistake we often see here is just turning too much under braking. Now this often happens because you run wide out of turn 2 and coming into turn 3. This of course is just going to lock up the tyres and cause you to understeer. The best way to avoid this is to focus on the turn 2 exit for the sake of turn 3. The second common mistake we often see here is hitting the sausage curbs on the inside of the corners. The ones here are absolutely massive, and hitting them is only going to cause you problems, so the best advice here is to simply avoid them. And finally, what is by far the most common and most damaging mistake that we see around this corner combination is running too wide out of turn 3. What this means is that coming through turn 4, you've got way more steering lock on and you can't get the power on as early as you could do otherwise, and you just lose that time down the straight. To avoid this, you just need to sacrifice the exit of turn 3 slightly for a better line into turn 4. However, what if you've been driving a while and you're losing grip out of turn 4? Our tip would be to lose a bit of time through turn 3, then take a very wide line through turn 4 and straighten up the wheels more on the exit. As always, let's finish with the key points for mastering this corner combination. The first key point is to remember that entry into turn 4 is very important, so make sure you take the right line through turn 2 and turn 3 to set yourself up right. Don't be afraid to sacrifice a little bit of time through these prior corners to set yourself up properly for the run through turn 4, as that's what's going to gain you all the speed down the straight. The second key point to remember is to gently shift the weight from one side to the other. Don't throw the car about as you'll just lose time. Ease the car through to maintain stability and speed throughout. And finally, remember to think of these corners like a long and wide chicane. They're so interconnected, and so it's useful to think of them as working in tandem. We've said it a lot in this video, but focus on linking up the corners to get a successful run all the way through and get more speed down the straight, and that's what matters most here.